don't put pressure on the president. Let me tell you why. We don't put pressure on the president because y'all love the president. You love the president. Just a minute. You're very proud.
We do.
You're very proud to have a black man.
That's right. We are.
First time in the history of the United States of America. If we go after the president too hard, you going after us. Hey. No.
35 people that represent.
That's okay.
It's not just the president.
Just a moment. Let me finish telling you the reality of the politics of what's going on. When you tell us it's all right,
it's all right.
When you tell us it's all right and you unleash us and you tell us you're ready for us to have this conversation, we're ready to have the conversation. Wait a minute, let me be clear. I'm in Detroit.
Real quick, please.
I'm in Detroit. I've been in Cleveland. I'm on my way to Atlanta. I'm going to Miami. I'll be in Los Angeles. And aside from that, I travel to a lot of other cities. I've been in Chicago. And I tell you this. The Congressional Black Caucus loves the president too. We're supportive of the president, but we're getting tired, y'all. We're getting tired. And so what we want to do is we want to give the president every opportunity to show what he can do and what he's prepared to lead on. We want to give him every opportunity. But our people are hurting. The unemployment is unconscionable. We don't know what the strategy is. We don't know why on this trip that he's in the United States now he's not in any black communities. We don't know that. But all I'm saying to you is we're politicians. We're elected officials. We're trying to do the right thing and the best thing. When you let us know it is time to let go, we'll let go.
As President Obama wraps up his three-day Midwest jobs tour, there are some signs that African Americans, a group critical to his re-election, are starting to run out of patience. At a sometimes heated town hall meeting in Detroit, members of the Congressional Black Caucus got an earful from frustrated residents who want more to be done to help tackle the nearly 16% unemployment rate in the black community.
The Congressional Black Caucus loves the president too. We're supportive of the president, but we're getting tired, y'all. We're getting tired. When you tell us it's all right and you unleash us and you tell us you're ready for us to have this conversation, we're ready to have the conversation. When you let us know it is time to let go, we'll let go.
The Congressional Black Caucus must meet immediately with the President of the United States of America.
Well, I'm joined now by MSNBC contributor, journalist, and publisher Karen Hunter, and by Robert Traynham, Washington bureau chief for the Comcast Network and host of Roll Call TV with Robert Traynham. Good morning to both of you.
Good morning.
Good morning.
You know, Karen, I talked to folks who were at that meeting last night, and it apparently got very, very raucous. I mean, they've reached, it looks like, at least in that room, the edge. You heard what Maxine Waters and John Conyers had to say. What's going on here?
Frustration. I mean, when you're looking at 16.2% unemployment in your community and you don't see any way out, that what you're seeing right there is the height of frustration. Something has to be done. And it has to be done now.
Well, done now. He's talking about September. He's talking about putting a plan forward in September. He's talking about giving a speech in September. Is it too late?
No, it's not too late. And the president absolutely has to make this his job number one to get jobs into the economy. But, you know, there's something a little bit posturing about what went on yesterday. And there's something, you know, a little bit inauthentic about these folks who are now calling for the president to step up. Where have they been? all of these years. And truthfully, you know, these are the people who are going to make it happen in these communities, and they haven't done anything. So don't put it all on the president.
All right, Robert, let me play for you another clip from Maxine Waters. Kind of sums up some of the frustration. Let's play it.
Our people are hurting. The unemployment is unconscionable. We don't know what the strategy is. We don't know why on this trip that he's in the United States now he's not in any black communities. We don't know that.
Are you surprised that the president is going where he's going, or from a political standpoint? I mean, going through the Midwest, a place where he had so much support and was able to win back in 2008. Does he need to get into the black community, Robert?
To answer your first question, no, I'm not surprised. Look, if you take a look at the polling data, President Obama is trailing the Republican generic ballot for rural white voters. And where do rural white voters live? They live in the Midwest. They live in Iowa. They live in Michigan. They live in Pennsylvania, which ironically are battleground states. So it's not by chance that the president is going there. And to your second point, you know, the African-American community has every right to be upset with this president, to be frustrated, and to be angry. To use Karen's words, not only are they frustrated, but they're very, very angry. You know, regardless of whether the presidents are black or white, and regardless of whether the unemployed are black or white, people need jobs, and not just any old job. They need good paying quality jobs. People feel squeezed. And you know, the average unemployment rate for African Americans is about 16.2%, but when you go into Detroit, when you go into Philadelphia, when you go into Los Angeles, when you go in certain parts of Manhattan, it's at 20 or 30%. And so not only do people have to be upset not only with the president, but also with congressional Republicans and Democrats, because when they turn on the television set, all they see is bickering, all they see is fighting, all they see is political posturing. They don't see results. And that's where the president and that's where Republicans and Democrats need to roll up their sleeves and get the job done.
You know, to your point, Karen, when you talk about, you know, sort of a little bit of posturing there, there was also some discussion about a level of concern about the Congressional Black Caucus going after the first black president, and Maxine Waters talked to that. Let me play just one more little clip.
You're very proud to have a black man. First time in the history of the United States of America. If we go after the president too hard, you going after us. Hey!
Please.
You're not buying it?
No, because the bottom line is you serve your constituents, and as long as you're bringing home the bacon for them, they don't really care. You know, at the end of the day, this president is the president of these United States, not of black America.
But he has had, even with 16% unemployment, 90% plus approval in the black community.
70, and now
they have stood by him, and I wonder, again, from a political perspective, if you're trying to figure out how you schedule him on the course of a very busy campaign, do you say, hey, are these guys going to go and vote for you know, Rick Perry? Are they going to?
No, they're going to do worse. They're going to sit home, and they're not going to vote at all. You know, and that's the big problem. He should spread it around and show that he definitely cares for these communities that are being hit harder than anybody else in this country. He should have gone through Detroit. He should go through some of the hard-hit areas that are black-dominated. But at the end of the day, you know, I agree with you. I think he's going to have a problem with people sitting home, and that's going to be the biggest problem, is energizing folks to believe in him, or else we're just going to...
Yeah, let's remember how many new people he brought to the polls, how many independents he brought to the polls, and that's what won it for him in 2008. Robert Trainum, Karen Hunter, thanks to both of you. Well, this is a Fox News alert. There are new questions about President Obama's track record on jobs from the very people who put him in the Oval Office. Brand new hour here of America Live. Welcome, everyone. I'm Megyn Kelly. Democrat Maxine Waters, former chair of the Congressional Black Caucus, challenging the president earlier today for a lack of job creation and for not visiting the black community on his bus tour, telling a mostly African-American crowd that black caucus members will, quote, unleash on the president when black voters say it's time. Here is some of that now.
The Congressional Black Caucus loves the president, too. We do, too. We're supportive of the president, but we get tired of him. We get tired. And so what we want to do is we want to give the president every opportunity to show what he can do and what he's prepared to lead on. We want to give him every opportunity, but our people are hurting. The unemployment is unconscionable. We don't know what the strategy is. We don't know why on this trip that he's in the United States now he's not in any black communities. We don't know that. But all I'm saying to you is we're politicians. We're elected officials. We're trying to do the right thing and the best thing. When you let us know it is time to let go, we'll let go.
Ed Henry, live in Atkinson, Illinois, with the president's bus tour right now. Ed, you know, he's getting heat from the left and the right, but it's extraordinary to hear some of his biggest supporters that animated over the issue of jobs and the economy.
Absolutely. I mean, look, he knows there's disappointment out here in the country among some of his supporters. He's in his home state of Illinois today, for example, at this town hall meeting. He's mostly been getting friendly questions before these audiences. These are areas where he won in 2008, and so, you know, for the most part in the 3 states that he's been in. So he hasn't heard that kind of anger, but he's fully aware of the fact that he's going to have to do more, and that's why White House aides are now telling us the president will give what they are billing as a major speech on the economy shortly after Labor Day, which is September 5th, that will have 2 basic components, one being a jobs plan, secondly being some sort of a deficit reduction approach that the president himself a few moments ago, in fact, said will be more than the $1.5 trillion proposed to be cut by the super committee on Capitol Hill. And the president is essentially trying to throw this in the lap of Republicans on the Hill by saying if they don't pass this, they're basically not putting their country first. Take a listen.
It's time to put country ahead of party. It's time to worry more about the next generation in the next election. If we do that, I guarantee you, nobody can stop us, Atkinson. Nobody can stop the United States of America. God bless you. Thank you.
Now, we checked the record, though, and just about every few months in this administration, over the last 2.5 years, the president has delivered what has largely been billed as a major speech on the economy, on jobs. That's why there's some skepticism on the Republican side, to be sure. A spokesman for Speaker John Boehner, Brendan Buck, putting on Twitter earlier today, quote, "We really don't need another speech. Seriously, just drop it in the mail. Podium not required. Thanks." The other thing that Republicans are pushing back on is what we've heard, this theme from the president out here on the road the last few days, throwing in the lap of Congress and saying if they don't pass these measures, he's going to run against what he essentially called a do-nothing Congress. Of course, at least one chamber on Capitol Hill is run by Democrats, and that would be the Senate. Megan.
All right, Ed Henry, thank you. And I just want to correct what I said. I haven't heard the whole verbatim of what Maxine Waters says, but this is the quote that was given to me. She said, quote, "When you tell us it's all right and you unleash us and you tell us you're ready for us to have this conversation, we're ready to have the conversation. The Congressional Black Caucus loves the president too. We're supportive of the president, but we're getting tired, y'all. We're getting tired." And she goes on and says, "Our people are hurting, the unemployment is unconscionable, and we don't know what the strategy is." And it goes on from there. So just to clarify what was said at the top of the show.